We're back again, folks. Another new release. My visual aid is a ticket stub from the AMC Theater in Brentwood, California. The Brentwood 14, as it's called. I went to the matinee and I paid $11.19. 28 years later. That probably doesn't look great. This, along with all my videos, is shot on an iPhone. Interestingly enough, this movie was mostly shot using an iPhone 15 Max. I found that very cool. It is paying homage to using small handheld cameras, as the original 28 Days Later from 2002 was shot on a Canon XL1 handheld digital camcorder that debuted in 1998, so it was only a couple of years old. This particular motion picture is directed by Danny Boyle, just as the original film was. It has an hour and 55-minute runtime. Fun fact, if you want to make 90s style videos, you can pick up used Canon XL1 cameras from the late 90s on eBay right now for a couple of $100. Very cool. I might have to pick one of those up as I gravitate away from Video 8. Although I have featured Video 8 here on the channel, 2-hour tape capacity. It's got its own vintage vibe. I would have never have guessed this movie was shot mostly on an iPhone. Obviously, they could do a lot in post-production with editing software, but it was still really cool to see a major motion picture filmed so simply. This movie had a $60 million budget. I did not really research to what the original one had, and I could not find my copy. I really wanted to show my DVD copy, but I have so much media, and it is not organized. I'm a fan of the franchise. I remember watching part 1 with my friend Kathleen. Huge shout out to Kathleen in Idaho when I was in Bible college around 2009, and I think I probably rented part 2 or maybe saw it in theaters. Part 2, 28 weeks later, came out around 2007. I don't know if I was hip to the whole infected zombie horror films at that point in my life. I would have been 20 years old. Part 2, I remember not liking as much as part 1. If I could rate part 1 within this review, I'm going to go 5 out of 5 on part 1. And this movie is awesome. I loved it. Ralph Fiennes, once again, it's my second Ralph Fiennes movie in a row. He's not the main character in this film, which I didn't really go down the laundry list, but he's the one that stood out. He plays an eccentric doctor. I'm going to go 4 out of 5. Rotten Tomato critic average is 92%. It came out today, so there is not any audience member score. It said only 250 people had reported in, so there's not enough of an average to show an audience member score. 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. The original story writer, Alex Garland, and the original cinematographer, they all teamed up again with Danny Boyle. This movie was planned as far back as 2007, and it took from 2007 until today to get this movie out. Cillian Murphy is attached to executive produce the second film, I believe, because this is going to be a new trilogy. So this movie came out today, which is June 19th. And then in January, which is only 6 months away, crazy, we're already halfway through the year, they're going to release the second installment of this film, which will be called 28 Years Later, Bone Temple. And I think Cillian Murphy will reprise his role in that movie. This movie starts when the original film takes place. It's mostly filmed in northern England, although they're depicting the Scottish Highlands. And it starts in 2002, and you see some children at a bedroom watching Teletubbies on a little 13-inch color TV set. And the infected burst in. It's chaos. One of the children runs to a nearby church where his father seems to be an Anglican minister, and then the movie just goes on from there. Then it fast forward 28 years in the future, 2008, which would be 2030. So this is even 6 years from now, but it's in this post-apocalyptic England where it's isolated and people are not allowed to leave lest the infection spread. And then you see kind of this, what do these infected look like 28 years later? They're feral people. Some of them are kind of like depicted as very slug-like, just the basest human instincts bloated, weathered, crawling on the ground, eating worms. And then some of these infected have turned into this superhuman animalistic race, like a wolf pack with one alpha male leading them all. And it just kind of, it's more than just a zombie movie. To me, the pinnacle of the story is the love between a mother and her child and vice versa. That is the deeper subject matter. There's some jump scares. I wasn't particularly horrified. It did keep me on high alert the whole time. I felt like my blood pressure was ramped up even after I walked out of the theater. It's not terribly scary, but it's just suspenseful. The violence and grotesqueness is way over the top compared to the original. I will say that much. There is lots of nudity in this film. It is rated R, but it is not graphic nudity. It is, they're zombies, right? And they've been living out in the wild for decades. So you can imagine it's kind of like you're on an African safari type of thing. It's not grotesque or horrifying, but it's got a deeper story of love that's there, and I really like that. Found myself getting emotional in a zombie movie. Never thought I would see that happen. Did I mention it had a $60 million budget? Yes, set design, it's important. That's pretty much all that I have to say about it. I look forward to the second installment, and I need to rewatch part 2. Part 1, I can remember vividly. Part 2, 28 weeks later, I can remember bits and pieces of it, but it did not leave an impact like the first film did. So thank you for watching. Check it out. I recommend it. 4 out of 5 is a great rating. The 5 out of 5 is elusive like a unicorn. That's reserved for movies like Schindler's List. It's a zombie movie. Great cinematography with the iPhone 15. Great scene cuts. There's some like 1940s World War II sound reels and imagery of knights and battling with, it's just, there's a lot of cool stuff spliced in that makes it cool. A lot of beautiful shots of green, lots of vibrant colors. It's just a beautifully shot film as well, aside from being a zombie movie. I like the setting, I like the scenery, the acting, and I was great in the film. Like I said, huge shout out to Ralph Fiennes. He really is a world-class actor. Until next time, folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you then.